maybe he's on last year.
Leave, right, leave.
He says he lived in poverty and made a number of bad decisions that might have caused a number of people to write him off as lost. But because of the support, that's so important, but because of the support of a number of caring adults who believed he was more than a statistic. Mr. Moore is a graduate of Henderson State University. He is a former gang initiative coordinator of the Youth Initiative Program, and for the past 10 years has served as a program director for Keith Jackson's Park. Positive Atmosphere Reaches Kids. He's also written an outstanding book. This very interesting, very informative, and definitely worth anyone's time to read. He didn't ask me to do this. I read it myself, and I found it outstanding if you're dealing with juveniles. There's some real words of wisdom in this. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce to you our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Kareem Moody.
Well, thank you all. I know I looked across at a lot of the parents' faces when those young men were walking in, and it was almost like some of you didn't recognize these guys. They came in and they looked really proud, and that's impressive to see your parents believing in these kids. As mentioned, I have spent time in juvenile detention facilities, and I've been on the wrong road myself, and so today I want to encourage you parents to applaud these young men again. I want you to applaud them for making it to the graduation ceremony. A lot of these guys, my mama don't know what she's talking about, or I'm not going to that place. And as you see, a couple young men didn't finish. So I think it behooves us to congratulate these guys for that purpose alone. And I want to commend you guys for overcoming those shortcomings. I want to commend you for digging a little deeper and finding what it takes for you to bend to those rules that they set. I've been through the boot camp and the military school, if you will, and I've seen the things that you have to do to make it. We were watching the clips earlier, and they showed you, doing those exercises and getting up in the mornings and having to study and all of those things. And so I know that took a lot. And so I definitely commend you for that. But with all due respect to the C-STEP program, General Warford, and all the staff and the distinguished people who serve to make these young people, to help these young people make these decisions, I'm going to hold back on my applause. You see, I've been here before. And I know that when you do get that piece of paper, it's going to mean a lot to you today. You're going to be proud of it today. You're going to take it home and you're probably going to show a few people. See, graduation doesn't start today. And you'll really know if you graduated, it's going to be when you get home and your homeboy who's been missing you for the last 9 weeks offers you that money. When you find yourself in a situation where you think you're supposed to fight and you decide to walk away, or even when your parents are telling you something and you know it's the right thing to do and you decide to do it, that's when you know you graduated. that's when you'll know that this 9 weeks has paid off. That's when it's going to make sense. That's when it's going to matter. That's when the real graduation happens. Because see, the truth of the matter is you weren't supposed to be here. So this is a bittersweet moment. You weren't supposed to come to C-STEP. Most kids don't come to C-STEP. Most kids figure it out and don't have to come here. So the reality is, you're on the wrong road. The good part about it is you're facing in the right direction. That's all C-STEP has done for you. You've walked down this road, you've hit a roadblock. They've stopped you from going further down the wrong road. Over the course of 9 weeks, they strategically turned you around. As you leave here today, you're going to be standing on those steps. And when you leave Camp Robinson, you're facing in the right direction now. So all the things that have happened over the course of the 9 weeks, those are the things that can either keep you in the right direction. If you walk forward now, put the blinders on. Use those resistance skills that they talked about. Those study habits. If you'll follow those things, you'll stay on that right road. Because that's the direction you're in now. But just as easy as it is to stay on the right road, it's going to be a lot easier to make a turn. There's going to be a lot of pressure. See, the thing that I know about C-STEP is they've shown you how to study. You probably didn't believe that you could get up that early and do jumping jacks. You probably hadn't done jumping jacks since preschool before you got here. Push-ups and running and all that exercise, you probably didn't even know you had it in you. And then to sit there and study all day, homework, sitting in those classes. Most times those are things that you're not doing when you're in public school or when you're out in the community. So for them to show you, all they did was showed you what was in you. They hadn't built new people. They just dusted you off. Just helped you focus. Because it was in you all along. And now that you know, it's on you to use it when you get home. But also, I want to point out something else. That when kids are sentenced to come to C-STEP, they don't come by themselves. So whatever wasn't right that caused them to come to C-STEP, you have to take some blame for that too, as parents. I'll take some blame myself, as a community person. And then the teachers, legislatures, we've all failed these kids. So I'm hoping that over the course of this last 9 weeks, that you've graduated as well. I'm hoping that these guys are going to come back home and some things are different. Because see, the first couple days when they get back, they're ready for the rules. Because chances are the rules at home won't be as strict as what they've had to deal with for the past 9 weeks. So if you have some boundaries and expectations in place in your house, they can fit right into that. They're going to need some help. Let's not pretend that they're okay just because they got these nice suits on. Let's not pretend that they're totally fixed and we can just let them grow up from here on because it's done. C-STEP has changed. They've taken away all our problems. That's not what's happening. As I told you, what they did was they took these kids away and they gave you a chance to regroup at home so you don't deal with the pressures of every day having to worry, for one, about if they're coming home tonight or what they're getting into. And then you know that they're getting some constructive stuff embedded in them. They're learning some things that's going to help them make these decisions. But they're coming back to that home. They're coming back to that neighborhood. And there's going to be an older brother, a next door neighbor, or somebody who hadn't been to C-STEP. Somebody who could care less about your last 9 weeks. There's going to be somebody in your ear that has no interest in you being okay. So I'm hoping that the families are prepared for this. I'm hoping that the families are going to take this opportunity and build on it. Because the thing about being on this wrong road, if they had not found C-Step, it could have been a lot worse. And so don't you rest and think that they're okay now, because it could be worse. If they go back out that door, because I don't think C-Step accepts you a second time. And I've been through enough graduation ceremonies, and I've seen enough kids that don't make it.